You know, the reason I actually started recording right now is because I saw a guy make a video because he like makes daily videos, and it was really good because it was really simple, just like how I would think I would want to be in the future. There was talk of the competition. Ooh, spooky. So what I actually did was I practiced with the previous year's problems. I did a bunch of those, and in that time I did a bunch of those. So yeah, that is what I did for the whole week. After on Saturday was competition day. I have the paper right here. Ciao. It's upside down, whatever. You can see it. It's Roman numeral 13, which means I got the 13th place. Anyways, I just want to get on some sales calls because of the energy is back. I'm so energetic, bro. Bro, I just want to hear someone object. Just give me one objection. One reason they wouldn't buy. I had a pretty normal week. I had another sale. So that brought February to a total sales of 1,100, which is pretty crazy to think about, like, because my last biggest month was like around 700, 800 tier, and I was just like on one off, and this feels like something I can repeat. So it feels very good to have this kind of stuff. I have more deals in the pipeline, which is nice. So I'm just gonna keep working on those. We have a pivot in the business now. If you're not in the loop, let me catch you up. Right? I have a small business where I pretty much sell websites for other businesses. Why do I have this business? That's because I'm in high school and I thought this was a smart way to make some money. Turns out it was, but it's a bit hard to sell them because I'm having a bit of trouble. All right? So obviously, I have some history. I have past references, which are quite good. But the people are not seeing the value, I think. I think my prices are too high. Because I've made this mistake before. When I got my first few sales, I also decided to raise my prices from 600 to 800. That was a bad idea. Because it turns out that this is a very price-sensitive market. What I'm currently thinking about is going back to my old price. You might be asking why? Why? I think I can do just more work more efficiently with the old system. If I can do more work more efficiently, that means that I would be making more money than I am now. Because I'm pretty much getting rejected on the 800, but I think I can just because earlier in the year, just a few months ago, I was able to easily close people on 600 or 500 actually. So I thought 800 wouldn't be a big jump, but it turns out it kind of might be. And this month it's just not been good because I haven't sold, I don't think, anything really. Or last month actually, because it's the start of the month. So anyways, we have to make some changes. Something is definitely not working. A few months ago, in February, I had a really great month, 1.1k. I was like, damn, that's good. If that's gonna be my new baseline, things are going to change. But what I did not understand was the reason for my success. It was not skill, it was luck, which is always unfortunate when you succeed off of luck, because then you start changing things and you realize, I don't know what the hell the thing was that worked. But I realized that it was the price. I changed the price. I was doing stuff with the price that was not good, and I had another 1k month this month. The month is not even halfway, or it's a bit over halfway done. So we're looking quite good. So that's what I'm very excited about. I'm gonna start really going hard on the sales because it feels much better to sell when you feel like you're giving a good deal. And I feel like I've been able to do much better at sales when I'm so convicted that the thing I'm selling is good. I know the price is good. I know the quality is good. So I'm just like, if someone's thinking about a website, just get it from me.
Yo, this is my new Lamborghini. My new Lamborghini out here.
What the fuck?
I just bought this new Lamborghini.
I need your car.
But you know that value more than materialistic things. Books, knowledge. That's what I value more.
I'm gonna write away on.
So pretty much, it was someone who was interested in making an e-commerce store for graves, and pretty much for this e-commerce store they needed a grave designer. Not like someone who designs graves, but like an web app where you could design a grave. That's what they needed, an app that could do that. And there isn't really any public offerings, which means that they are going to need to have it done. And I think I have a good chance of doing that and doing a good job. So I'm also going to be making the e-commerce store, which will be the second element of this. I'm pretty sure I can do this. So I had 3 meetings five, must be 5. Because I have 3 closes, 2 non-closes so far at least. That's a pretty good batting average. 60% close rate is quite nice. Now, some things to say. First of all, there's 1 close, 1 real close, 2 verbal, very strong, or like 100% going to happen. All right, there's no chance they're not. They are going to happen. So 3 closes, 2 which I don't have so much faith in. Now, that is a very good result because I was scared I was gonna get like 1 deal or no deals, and that would have been sad. Would have been really sad. But instead, we have something even more insane. Because first of all, 3 deals would be insane. Because if you think about it, like even if it was like 3 of the smallest tier with 1.5k in 1 month, like we started on the 18th, that would be literally, I could have 3 deals done by the 18th of this month, which would mean in a 1 month cycle, I would have made 1.5k. Start to end. Would have been crazy already. That already would have been crazy. But first of all, none of the deals I've gotten are the lowest tier. None. Because 2 of them are not even a deal that I would normally do. They're not the normal kind of cookie cutter deal I do. Why is that? Because they're both technology deals. What do I mean by that? They're deals where I cook up some delicious technology. Now I might be asking, why would you do that? You know, that's not where you're the best at. That's not where you do your best work. Aren't you supposed to be the guy who makes the websites? So what's up with this? To that, I say technology makes money. You develop and you make. Second of all, that's the first. You make money. Second point is that I like technology. I like developing stuff. I like writing code. I'm not the biggest fan of designing websites. Surprise, sue me, all right? Sue me. I like making money. Okay, you got me. So, you know, I don't know how to say this, but like, if that's the field I want to go into, having some work done there would be fire, no? That would be crazy good. So I'm very excited about this. In the larger future type idea, like I can see the clouds parting, you know, there being less things in the way of me succeeding, which is very nice. It seems like all of the work I did in the past 2 years is like paying off to give me this chance to like go all in on the business, and then the business is also getting the boost from the last 2 years of work to like get actual results. And the part of the business that I didn't know how to incorporate, the part that I didn't know how to code, is also paying dividends. Like everything seems to be paying dividends at the same time, which is just so nice to see, so good to hear. And I'm so happy it's going in this direction. Feels also like almost like I'm like cheating, because like these 3 deals have together made like 5 point something k. I can count it. There's one for 3.9, then one for 1k, so that's 4.9, and then one for 700. So 5.6k for just 3 deals is crazy. It's crazy. It literally, I don't know how to say that. I'm not American now enough to do that. It just doubles the whole income I've made in this in the year before this. Like before this, the year, or the last 6 months, I guess, not counting this month, I've made 4.6k. So in this single month, or I guess in this single month, I closed deals that are worth 5.6k, which is crazy, you know. Definitely shows that we're on the up and up. If I can go through another one of these seasons that's even remotely close to this high, I can get to like 12, 13, 14k for the year. If that's the case, that's like tripling last year, which will be crazy, you know. Tripling last year, going, that's if I can continue that pattern, that would be crazy. Because think about it, last year was like 4k, triple that to like 12, 13k, right? This year, imagine the next year, triple like 15k, 45k. Like that's becoming a real income. Obviously, I don't think that's gonna how it's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to make it more passive so I get retention instead of having to go out to get clients, because I have to do the army, and that's gonna take a lot more of my time. It's not gonna take my mental resources, it's gonna take my time. So I don't have the time to do reach out. So I need to pivot the business to be able to work in that environment. That's definitely something I have to do, but I still have a half year of productiveness. If I can make half of 45k in that half year, that's literally insane. 20k in like half a year would be insane. 6 months, what would that be? 3k a month. Crazy. That would be insane. And because I have really nothing to do for that whole half year, so it could really be reality. I'm like being shook here. Like, that's crazy. That's genuinely insane. Well, there's this saying in the art community that's like, trust the process. Like, when you do art, there's like, especially in painting, there's these times when you're like making these splotches of paint everywhere, and you're kind of like seeing everything in one color, or like weird blobs. And when other people see it, they're like, that's not gonna pan out. And you just have to be like, trust the process. That's the trust the process, because that's what you have to do. You know that this is the way to succeed. So you simply say you have to trust the process, because that's what you have to do to be able to get to that next step and to finally see the light after the tunnel. So these just are very, very long, big scale trusting the process. I'm trusting your process, but not in like a 3-hour painting. I'm trusting your process in a 3-year time period for making a business, which is crazy. Just some work for that one client that had my first plugin that I made for them. Turned out they wanted me to keep renew with me and do more work with me. So now I have like a kind of hourly rate with them. I just thought 25 is quite high, so I'll do double that. So I do 50 an hour. Sounds professional, sounds cool. So I just sent that. They were like, cool, sounds good. Hopefully it doesn't actually start to rain. And that got me the contract. So I mean, it's not a contract, it's just pretty much I'll just get work with that. They also have a design agency, which is insane. So I think they just are not strapped for cash and are just printing money, I guess. That would be the reason for them to not care much about how they're spending, because they're spending really a lot of money on very small things. It all started off with, I think I ended off the last video by just talking about the driving license and how I was getting scared of that and all that. Yeah, I did pass. Alright, so that's good. I've been driving a lot because obviously you have to do that to upkeep your skill, and I think I've been improving a significant amount, which is also good, and it's something that generally you should do. Yo, what's good? You can't see much because it's very dark. To deal with that, I will do nothing. You're going to listen to my voice because that's what we're dealing with today. All right, so because this week was a lot of events, not a lot of thinking, or I guess some thinking. So let's go through that. First of all, there was no real business today, this week, because I was on a business trip, as I probably mentioned last week. I'll just recount it quickly. I won't go into too much detail because basically this channel has been my way to kind of explain what I've been thinking at any moment in time. Also, it's a way for me to learn how to speak in front of a camera, because I feel like that's something, that's a skill that's important to me because I like it. I feel like it's very interesting to talk in front of a camera. Basically, having to be able to improvise, but also obviously, you know, mainly skill is learned when it's very close or adjacent to the thing you're doing. So, okay, I'm not learning a lot about script reading, but I am learning a lot about how to speak more clearly, how to, I was gonna say, pausing my speech better, having a better tempo, slowing down at the important parts, and going a bit faster when it's not so important, having more emotion in my speech, in my face, in my hands, these kinds of things, public speaking basically. And obviously this is not quite the same because obviously there would be an audience, but if I just substitute my what I see with an audience, then it's kind of the same thing. And it doesn't really work like that, but basically it is. So I think it's been a very good experience and a very important and will be an important skill. I've talked about it a few times in these videos of how I think it's an important skill and a cool skill, because obviously we're in the age of like influencers doing online content, dancing on the scene, whatever, right? And those kinds of things are, you know, important in this modern age. So it's kind of weird to not be able to do that. And or it's not weird to not be able to do that. It's good to be able to do that. Even though I decided to do a more traditional business, which is obviously what I'm doing, just basically a development agency, what is where I'm kind of going. I still like YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. I really enjoy that, and I think maybe you can see that sometimes in the videos of the way I speak, the way I kind of move, emulating other people that I think are cool, that are better than me at speaking. Other than that, the goals for next year, I want to 3x the business. So this year I did about 11.5k, so about 12. So I'm gonna triple that to 36k gross. That's the goal. That's about a 3k per month average. That's quite high, but last year I went from 3.6k to 12k, which is a little bit under 3x. So I'm going to have even more like free time, and that should lead me to being able to actually do the 3x. Increase price considerably. Is definitely something, because my time is kind of the problem right now. I work about as much as I can. I'm not a very high work capacity person, so I think I have to raise prices, and that's something I just have to deal with. Yeah, just raising prices is definitely something that needs to be done. Double down in niche, get more customers who are doing plugins, who need plugins. That's definitely something the thing I'm best at, and the thing I should focus on. So definitely doubling down on that. And then finish up my university courses. That's of course gonna get done, and then pay my taxes and the VAT, because I'm now getting the VAT index and start being a real business. Yeah.